So that was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, did that.
Quite interesting to see what history is held within people. Just loads of people have little bits of information, and the overall picture of it is pretty amazing when you get people together. Right. So what we're going to do now, we are going to go and have a chat with the desert rats, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to introduce you to a chap called Richard Pinchers, who has an SES desert rat group, which are pretty cool. So we're going to go and have a chat with them. So here we go.
Charging right into danger.
Hi, we are here at the Desert Rat section of the show, and here with the Desert Rat is Richard Pinchers. He is the coordinator and founder of this group.
Yeah, this is my group, 100%. Yeah.
What is the group's name?
So it's called the Lone Rat. So ironically, I started as a promenader, dressed in a KD tropical outfit, and I started going to shows, and I got a bit obsessed by it. So I bought a Jeep, and then I've got other friends with Jeeps, and we've all sort of mixed and matched, and we've done 14 shows this season. The biggest show we went to, we had 7 Jeeps and about 30 reenactors, all doing desert. There's a certain draw to the desert. Mystery. There's a mystery.
And you joined us at the White Horse Military Show this year.
Yeah, the White Horse was the show we love, especially because you gave us an Alamein train station.
Yeah, well, we're here to
we
talk
pretended
about
to be at
railway.
Alamein, and that's very iconic to us. It's a key part of the battle, obviously, and to actually have one on our display was rather special.
Yeah, we're working on that next year to get you real railway line track, which is one of our reasons for being at the show, to talk to the owners here, because they're going to give us some railway lines, so we're trying to work out the logistics of getting the railway track to the show.
Brilliant.
But
yeah.
so the history of the Desert Rats, how did it start?
So the British Army were in North Africa anyway. They had basically it was an English protectorate in Egypt. England owned a 51% share of the trading company that ran the Suez Canal. So the Suez Canal was the important bit, and that's why the Egyptians allowed us to have a protectorate force there.
And the Suez Canal was the main transit ship route through.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Through the Mediterranean down to the Gulf of Arabia. It took out weeks of travel. So the Suez Canal, I think it was completed in 1888. Very important trade route. So the army were there already. Wavell's desert force of 30,000 men. It was okay until the Italians, Mussolini declared war on the 10th of June 1940. And they were in the neighbouring country of Libya. They were there as their own protectorate. And Mussolini declared war, and it took him 4 or 5 months to find a general that wanted to invade English Egypt, because they were our allies before the Second World War.
Yeah,
so basically on the December 1940, General Ghaziani invaded, and he just stepped over the Libyan border into Egypt, and General Wavell, with his 30,000 men, managed to repel Italian force of 300,000. Now, Operation Compass was the first battle, and 100,000 soldiers gave themselves up, Italian soldiers. So we were a professional force in that time. We were a professional army, and lots of the Italians were conscripts. They were only to readily give themselves up. And after that, we pushed them all the way back.
Is this the British Army?
The British Army, this is only British at this stage.
Yeah.
We're not the 8th Army yet. They pushed them all the way back to Al Ajia, which is halfway between Benghazi and Tripoli. And that was a massive rout. As I say, 100,000 Italians eventually gave themselves out. And we took masses of supplies, Italian wine, but also ammunition as well. And the Italian tanks weren't particularly brilliant. But that was fine until Wavell lost his men to go and fight in Greece. And then Rommel came into the action.
Yeah.
In February 1941, Rommel, with his brand new Dutch Africa Corps, entered Egypt. Actually, Libya he entered, and within 2 weeks, Rommel did an offensive attack. That really put the British on back foot.
And it was the Blitzkrieg sort of doctrine.
Yeah. Rommel, he punches small and hard, and he actually basically all the ground that the British had lost, gained, was immediately lost, and we got pushed back to the Egyptian border again. I mean,
Is this where Tobruk is?
yeah, Tobruk was famously held. Tobruk
Yeah,
is
never
in
fell,
north
did it?
of Libya, and Rommel could not take Tobruk, and we held it for 280 days. And that was a thorn in his side because his supply was Tripoli. You're only as good as the proximity of your deep port, and he was getting his supplies from Tripoli, which is hundreds of miles away, and we were getting supplies from Alexandria, Cairo, but Tobruk was its own self-sustained port, and it was being supplied from the sea, which is why it could hold out
And we had
for so
Malta
long.
not that far away as well.
Oh,
didn't
Malta
we?
was brilliant. So Malta
Yeah.
was annihilating the supply ships that Rommel was getting anyway.
Yeah.
Oil and food and ammo, and they were heavily bombarded by the Italians and the Germans, and they quite rightly got the George Cross for their stoicism.
Brilliant.
So yeah, basically to and froing over 3 years. Benghazi changed hands 3 times, basically.
So the desert rats, when did they become a
Well,
thing?
There's 2 stories here. One was William Joyce, who was Lord Haw, Germany calling. He was a peer of the English realm, and he was given the anti-propaganda stories over the radio. And evidently, he coined the Australians when they were in Tobruk. They were dug in to protect themselves from shelling. They were the ones that Haw called the rats of Tobruk.
Right. Okay.
That's when that was coined. And the Jerboa, there's a little Jerboa here. This is the desert rat. It's a bit bigger than the real ones. These are nocturnal rodents that live in the desert, and they burrow into sand and rocks, which is what the soldiers had to do to protect themselves from the shelling.
Right.
And that's when the coin was. There is a story of a trooper who just found one of these and put it in his pocket. But I think I prefer the Lord Haw sound actually.
So a question
story.
which I think a lot of people ask is the desert rats and the SAS, because the SAS weren't at the beginning of the war; they were during the war. But were they the same or were they different units?
Generically, any Allied or Commonwealth combatant is typically part of the 8th Army.
Right.
Yeah. But the SAS they didn't come until July 1941.
Yeah.
The original Special Forces are what we portray here, the Long Range Desert Group.
Yes.
And they were basically, as soon as Italy declared war on Britain,
Yeah.
Ralph Bagnold, who was a desert explorer, knew that the Italians would cause trouble in Egypt. So he went to General Wavell and said, "You need my help. I can get into the Libyan, I can go behind enemy lines through the Great Sand Sea, through an entrance only I know, cause bloody mayhem, disappear again,
Yeah.
and like I was never here." So Wavell gave Bagnold the permission to raise the first troop of Long Range Desert Group.
And this was so the Long Range Desert Group originally helped the SAS with their early expeditions, didn't they?
Yeah. So the Long Range Desert Group were doing reconnaissance and doing raiding for the first 11 months. So the SAS didn't come into being until nearly a year later, which is July 1941. And this is Jock Lewis, Dudley Clark, David Stirling are the names you might have heard of.
Yeah.
It was an amalgam of different ideas that got the SAS off the ground. It wasn't just David Stirling.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, so the Long Range Desert Group were the ones that famously were the taxi service to the SAS. Operation Squatter was the first airborne operation of the SAS. Famously, it didn't go very well.
No, because they went in this storm, didn't
Out
they?
of the 60 people that went on this mission to raid the airfield, it was a 60-mile-an-hour windstorm, evidently. They were warned not to go. Most of the commandos had been trained previously with lay force. They hadn't seen any action. They were highly trained. They were told this might be your last chance of any action. You might not come back. Go or no go. And they all said, we'll risk it. So unfortunately, only 22 soldiers made it back from that raid without doing any destruction at all. They lost all their weapons, all their explosives. They made it back to the rendezvous, which, funnily enough, was where the Long Range Desert Group had arranged to pick them up. Genius idea then was, well, if the Long Range Desert Group are going to be there to collect us, why can't they take the SAS in? And that's when we became known as the SAS Taxi Service. And after that, they didn't bother parachuting in the desert because we had the navigational skills, well, the Long Range Desert Group had the navigation skills and the knowledge of how to drive through the Great Sand Sea to get hundreds of miles behind enemy lines.
And a question with desert rats, I might jump back to the desert rats. With the 8th Army?
Yeah.
So all the 8th Army called the desert rats?
Generically, any Allied Commonwealth combatant was called the 8th Army. Yeah.
And they were all desert rats?
Yeah, I mean, the 7th Armoured Division
Yeah.
are still called the Desert Rats, and they
Yeah.
kind of hold the real nomenclature of Desert Rats, and they've got the jabot on their shoulder flashes to this date.
Yeah.
But really, it became a generic term for the British in Africa.
That's brilliant. Okay, we're going to do Charleston.
He kind of, yeah, he does.
I don't know what I'm
He
doing.
does know what he's doing. He's done it too many
There's a little treat for you. It's the last train of the day now, so we're going to go and go on to what they call a reenactors train, which is just for reenactors on our own. So we're going to go and make our way on there. Enjoy it. So rumour has it we're in first class, which is interesting. I've not been in first class yet, so we're just slowly making our way there now. Here we go.
People can tell where I am.
There's a gentleman sitting there, so I don't want to take the seat.
No, that's fair play.
That's someone.
Right, let's see if I can get.
We're going to have a bit of the sing song here, so we're going to have a little sing song. Oh, hang on. There's a guy taking a picture of us.
Right, are we ready? Hang on, so.
You got two and two?
Yeah.
No, it's only a mark two. Yeah, I'll take that. If you press me that, and then yeah, I'm gonna this.
So it's starting to fill up now. I think we're going to have a little sing song, so we're looking forward to that. The sing is about to begin.
How do you like your eggs in the morning? I'm going to foreign Paris, and you look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle made for two. Daisy, Daisy, in your arms.
just stopped at a, I think it's Chorley Station, so we're having a little break now. We're going to turn the trains around, and yeah, we're about to wait at some trains when they come past. Oh, that's what they're doing. Hang on a minute. I don't know if you can see the chap down here. We're taking the engine off, sticking on the other end of the train, and heading back. But we're on the platform now. We're going to hopefully wave at some people when we see them. It'll be great. Well, that was great fun, but the train came real ways and it left, but I forgot to film it, so sorry about that.
She just messaged me going, where are you guys?